Hello, welcome to Reporter Room. Let me get my microphone up ready. I'm just going to let a few people get in here. Come on in. We have a lot to talk about tonight. And I also have 5 recordings of Jose in his interview that he gave with Jay is for Justice that I want to play for you and discuss with you. So I'm really anxious to hear your opinion on this. To join the top chat, you need to be subscribed to Reporter Room for 60 seconds and you can join. And join the conversation. We're going to play different portions of the interview and we're going to discuss them. And then I also am going to talk to you about the peephole in the wall and what I think that means. If you can give this video a thumbs up to help us with the YouTube algorithm, I really appreciate it. We're going to talk about the peephole. We're going to talk about Jose. Jose, the reason he gave for kind of disappearing off the radar was that he had PTSD. So we're going to talk a little bit also about PTSD today and whether or not that would keep someone from being able to speak out. He said he spoke to authorities and then threw his phone into the ocean. And we're also going to talk about psychopathy and whether that has played a role in this case. And I'm going to share with you the definition of what a psychopath is versus what a sociopath is, and then ask your opinion on whether you guys think that this played a role in the case or not. So we're going to listen to 5 recordings, 5 sections of the recording made, and I'm just going to welcome Sunflowers, Flip Flop, Seabell, Rose, Jenna Burka, and Brenda Hall, watching all the way from Alaska. Welcome to Reporter Room. If you can give this video a thumbs up, just subscribe and you can join the top chat after 1 minute and join the conversation. I really am interested to hear what you guys are going to say. I'm going to read your opinions out loud. This is going to be a very interactive. I'm going to play some portions for you, and then I'm going to ask your response to those. So I am going to be reading your comments out loud. If you don't want them read out loud, you can just say in your comment, don't read, and I won't read it. Christine Robinson is joining us. Ricky Beaver. I want to thank supporters of the Reporter Room channel, all of our subscribers. You guys are awesome. Thank you for sharing our content on other platforms and being part of Reporter Room. I also want to thank our channel members, Sonia Stenger and Rion Evans. You guys are a big part of Reporter Room. So this is going to be a very interactive show today, and we're going to get right into it. I'm just going to read you a quick disclaimer, and then which you have to do. So I'm Reporter Room. My name is Jessica Della Davies. For those of you that don't know who I am, I'm an investigative journalist, and I'm verified as a journalist on Twitter. I have the blue check mark. So I'm asking you guys to help Reporter Room grow by sharing this on other platforms like Reddit, Facebook, Twitter, and giving this video a thumbs up. If you want to join the top chat and be part of this interactive show that we're having today, go ahead and join, subscribe, and then wait 1 minute and you can enter the top chat. So today we're going to listen to the 5 moments of the interview that 5 important moments that Jose gave to Justice for All. We're going to discuss whether or not Jose had PTSD and whether this would have affected him for months and months, and whether or not Don Wells or Candus Wells could be a sociopath or a psychopath. Everything I'm sharing with you today is my opinion, and opinions are not facts. So please don't send any negativity to anyone, anytime, anywhere. Let's be kind and decent to each other. I'm also using the recordings under the fair use. And so the 5 key moments that I'm sharing are from Justice for All, so credit to them. And we're going to be discussing those. I have pre-recorded snippets under the Fair Use Doctrine. Fair Use Doctrine is in the United States copyright law, which allows limited use of copyrighted material without requiring permission from the rights holders, and use such as commentary, criticism, news reporting, research, teaching, or scholarship. So that's how the Fair Use Doctrine works, and that's how we're going to be using it today. Let's see, we've got quite a few people in here. So that's great. If you're not in here already, just subscribe and join. Wait 1 minute and you can join the chat. Ricky Beavers says he's in the house. Christina Robinson's coming to us from Michigan. Pasta Joe from Columbus, Ohio. Yeah, tell me where you're from, because I'm like really curious where you guys are from. Marissa Rose says hello. Watch what words you use in here, because certain words YouTube will remove your message or retract your message. So if I don't read out your comment, it's either I didn't see it or there's words in there that I didn't see the comment at all. Jenna Burka, do you ever watch? Yes, sometimes I do. I haven't lately, but sometimes I watch all of the other creators. I don't really like to get into any of the creator drama. And so if you're looking for that, you're at the wrong channel. I don't do that. I don't take sides. I really like to let everybody have their own opinion. I think that's one of the most beautiful things about YouTube. Marion's in the house. Hi, Marion M. Ricky Pena, this is a beautiful place. I love it. Raina, thank you. Snow, you should speak to Brooks. You guys would collab amazingly. I'm not sure who that is, but I will definitely open to collaborating with any other YouTube creator that is interested. Marissa Ross is from Toronto. Joy is hi from Ontario. Hello. Pasta Joe says hello. No Filter from Ohio. Donna's from Indiana, and Mama G is from Hawkins Hill, Ohio. Okay, so let's get started. Those of you that know me know I don't like to dilly-dally around. I like to get right into it. So I want to start with the very first recording. I'm going to play it for you, and then I'm going to get your input. We're going to discuss it. And then we're going to go to the next recording. I'm going to play that little snippet for you, and then we'll discuss. So here we go. Here's the first one.
She hated shoes on her feet. She will always be in just her pajama pants, running outside, full of mud and dirt. But she's being a normal child. What kid doesn't do that? You're 3, 4 years old at the time. But of course, children are going to do that. You know, and that was her. So when I seen her in the outfit, just laying there, that's typical Summer. She used to always pass out like that. So.
Okay, so let's talk about that one first. So Jose did a really nice job, I thought, in the interview of kind of sussing out a little bit of more information of what it was like in the house, which was, I think a lot of us knew it was bad, but it turns out it was probably worse than some of us thought. Maybe not all of us, but some of us. But what did you guys think about his description of Summer, basically of the last photo or last video that we have of Summer being asleep on the milk jugs. Now, his feeling about that is that that's just Summer, that she was dressed unusually well for her. Usually she ran around in pajamas without even a top on sometimes. So she was dressed unusually well, and we know that she was in her first day of school outfit. So he feels like that is just her. She would sleep on the milk jugs. We've had a lot of discussion about whether or not Summer was asleep or not asleep. So what do you guys think about that portion of the interview? We have Kenzie Wright, hello from Michigan, Mama G from Hawkins Hill, Donna from Indiana, Lisa Gillenwater from Southwest Virginia, and she's about 25 minutes from where Summer went missing. Anna D, hi Anna D. Rose, Mama G, love Hawkins Hill. And then Joycey, House of Horrors, Summer played hard in the day and slept hard. Yeah, she really did. So what did you guys think about that portion? Do you think that Summer, was reportedly asleep, and, there was a lot made of, Candus wanted a picture of her arm up. We've had people saying, well, would you, if you were cold, fall asleep on ice cold milk jugs? And he said that Summer would. Jose says that she would. So Mama G says, it's God's handiwork. Donna Rush says, she's from Washington State. Welcome. CKRN Folsom, no, she wasn't just asleep. So what makes you think that? I'm assuming you're a nurse. We have talked about on this channel the dark blue nail beds. that Summer had in the final photo. We've all seen the lines. They're not up here where dirt would collect in your fingers. They are in the actual nail beds. They're quite low in the thumb and nail beds. And so, what do you guys think? It was that just maybe a sign of anemia, because we also know from Jose that the nutrition was very questionable, according to him, in the Wells household. The kids were not getting proper food. They were living on snacks from Dollar General. And in some cases, Candus was literally begging Don to please send grocery money. So Flip Flop said she didn't look well to me. And Rose 1033 says, I don't believe she was sleeping, coloring, and the nails are off. And Ricky Beaver says, I think Summer was really asleep. I've been following this from the beginning, and that's all I'm going to say. I know a lot more than I do believe in my heart. And Anna says she agrees with the RN, C-Care RN. And Joy says, just sleeping. They fed the kids garbage. So, yeah, my feeling has always been, I don't quite know what to make of the picture, and none of us knows, but I always felt like maybe it was, anemia, which can cause lack of oxygen in the blood, and that can be due to poor nutrition. Snow says that she's undecisive about how she feels about Jose's story. So what is it that makes you feel that way about Jose? And by the way, we have verified that this is Jose. We have Candus that says it's Jose. We have Allie that says it's Jose. And we have Andrew, who's Allie's ex-husband, who also verifies that it's Jose. So I didn't have confirmation when I made my video that I posted yesterday, because I had shot it the day before, of whether or not for sure it was Jose. But we do have confirmation. So C-Care RN says her nail beds are blue. Right upper eye is bruised, hand in a claw position, which shows the beginning of rigor or a neuro event. And there has been a lot, and I even did a video on this on secondary drowning. So that's really interesting. Thank you, C-Care RN. Are you a registered nurse, may I ask? Mama Bear says, hi from UK. I think she was asleep. She had a slushy, so might have got the color of the drink on her hands and nails. Christine Robinson says, I believe Jose was 95% truthful. I had the same feeling, Christine. I felt like, some of his comments were, self-serving, in that, he kind of made himself the hero of his own story. He was cooking and cleaning. And when we look at the pictures of the house, I don't know, was anybody cleaning? It doesn't look like it. Maybe he cooked and cleaned, a couple times. I don't know. And he was there for 6 months, and he didn't call Child Protective Services. So I think he's credible to a point, but he's going to tell the story from his point of view. And so, I just want to give you guys all the facts so you can make your own determination and also be the best armed. If you're just joining us, you can join the top chat. Just subscribe for 1 minute and join in on the top chat. We're going to be playing I have recordings of the interview. I have 5. We just played 1, and then we're going to discuss in the top chat what we think. Flip Flop agrees with C-Care RN. Donna Barnes says it took too long for this man to come out. Yeah, a lot of people are feeling like you are, Donna Barnes, that, where was Jose? And, he says that he had PTSD from living in the house. And we're going to talk about PTSD in a few minutes. So stay with me. And whether or not that could have been a factor, would that keep him from being able to, function? He did, to his credit, he did talk to authorities, and maybe that was the best he could do under the circumstances. I don't know. I know how gut punched I felt just hearing his story. I don't know. You guys probably did too. C-Care RN. Sorry about that. Anemia doesn't show blue nail beds. Yes, I am a critical care RN. Thank you so much for sharing that. And we really appreciate your having your expertise tonight. Joy says Jose did brag a bit, but for the most part was truthful. He was emotionally moved during his story. I felt the same way, Joy, and I felt like, he had a lot of credibility, and I really appreciated him coming forward. I really did. Rose 1033 says, I think he made himself out to be better than he is, but I think he was the most honest about Summer. I agree with you, Joy. There may, everybody tells a story from their point of view. So Jose was telling you his point of view, but you know, some of his serving, statements may have been a little bit self-serving, but I do feel like he spoke his truth to the best of his ability. And we're going to listen to the next segment in 1 minute. I'm just going to finish reading these out loud. Rose 1033 feels like that Jose was the most honest about Summer. Flip Flop says, I think she was in the phase of passing, and Sandra Sanders is talking to the registered nurse CKRN. I have been saying the same thing. I'm a certified respiratory therapist. So glad to have you guys in the house to give your expertise. And the hands and nail beds were the first time I noticed. Thank you so much for sharing that, Sandra. Snow, does anyone know if Jose has spoken to TBI? My understanding is Jose did speak to the FBI before he disappeared, before he, quote, threw his phone into the ocean and disappear. So he did speak to authorities and then disappeared. And his reason for disappearing was PTSD. So Mama Bear said maybe he waited until Don was in jail before he spoke out. Lots of people seem to be afraid of Don. Wow, that's a really great point, Mama Bear. And I can understand why. I really can. I've had nightmares about Don. I really have, just from covering this case so closely and getting involved in all the pictures and all the research that I've done. I've spent hours investigating this case, and I get nightmares. So I can't imagine what it would have been like to see him in person doing some of the things that we're going to talk about, that Jose is going to share with us today through his interview with Justice for All. CKRN and Sandra Sanders, I'm in awe of the respiratory therapists. They have really helped me in critical care. Yeah, respiratory therapists do a great job. And so do RNs. You guys are the unsung heroes of the hospital. We all know who does the real work. Rena Payne says Jose knew about Summer 8 weeks after she got gone. The TBI told him, so he said. Yeah, he knew about it. He spoke to authorities before he disappeared. So he knew about Summer. He just didn't know, he says, that it blew up on YouTube the way that it did. Rose 1033 says she worked in a hospice center. Those are definitely the first sign. Lisa Irwin says, I agree with Snow. So many people fear Dawn. That is true. And then CKRN, I did believe Jose, except for the sleeping photo. What a sincere man. And Flip Flop has hearts. Lisa Irwin says, I feel like we know Summer a bit better. Yeah, I thought so too. I feel like we have a better understanding of Summer. We got a better picture of Allie and of Candus. So let's play the next section. This is the second of 5 recording sections that I made, and I'm using these under the fair use doctrine. So let's listen to that.
Correct. I stood up the whole night, shaking, hair standing up, in tears, with regret, a heavy heart, because even when I was there, I feel as a father, I'm disgraced with myself, because I couldn't do that with my own children. And I'm disgusted with my actions that I should have just fucking picked up the phone. Yo, this is going on.
So Jose really does beat himself up in the Justice for All interview. He really does feel like you can hear the remorse, you can hear the emotions that he has, the empathy that he has for Summer, and has kids of his own, and really feels strongly that he should have come forward sooner. And I think that's been like probably the only criticism that some of us have really had for Jose, which is that could he have come forward sooner? And I'm not criticizing him. I'm glad he came forward when he came forward. Better to come forward late, better late than never, as they say. So let's see what Rose 1033 says. Jose seems to care more about Summer than anyone else in the home. And Snow says Summer is so beautiful and did not deserve the life she was given. Prayers and justice for Summer Wells. And Brenda Hall says, yes, most of their children looked malnourished for sure. And Lisa Irwin said it's not his fault that Summer got gone. I agree, Lisa. It certainly isn't. So let's talk about PTSD for a minute, because Jose said he had PTSD. And is that a legitimate excuse from Jose? In my opinion, yes, it is, because I did some research on PTSD today before going live. And most people who go through traumatic events can have difficulty adjusting and coping. It's temporary, but it's real. And without treatment, the symptoms can just get worse. And Jose was in that house for 6 months. He lived with them, and then after Dawn um, came back from Utah, and then even after the altercation Dawn had, where Candus filed the restraining order against him, he was still stayed on a few days after that. So he really did see and experience a lot in at 110 Ben Hill Road. So PTSD without treatment symptoms can get worse, and it can last for months and even years, and it can interfere with your day-to-day functioning. And I think we all feel like, maybe this did interfere. And Jose, symptoms can start within a month of the traumatic event. And we know that he and Dawn had an altercation. He talked about that in his interview with Justice for All. But sometimes you don't get the effect of that until years after the event. And we saw this probably as a nation poignantly after the Vietnam War, because more soldiers did something that I cannot say on YouTube to themselves after they came home. More soldiers died after they came home than died during Vietnam. So it really can cause significant problems in your work and in your social relationships. So they can cause intrusive memories, avoidance, negative changes in feeling, thinking, in your mood, and symptoms can vary over time. So I do think that he legitimately was having issues with the PTSD, and that probably did cause him to go off the grid. And he probably was scared of Dawn. If I had an altercation with Dawn, I would be absolutely terrified. So I'm like self-soothing myself while we're talking, because it is really stressful. Jose and Snow says that, Rose 1033 says, I'm thankful he played a positive role for Summer. Snow says, Jose maybe feels if he didn't leave, this wouldn't have happened. The poor man has so much sympathy in his voice. I hate the rumors going around about him. Yeah, I do too, Snow. I'm really, really disgusted with the rumor mill and some of the tack that some people have taken. And I think he honestly came forward. Maybe he really was scared. I would be scared if I had an altercation with Dawn. And remember, Dawn went after him. He threw something at him and chipped his tooth. Donna says, in her opinion, he was only there closer to 6 weeks, but yes, he was there. Thanks, Donna. CKRN, depression can totally paralyze a person, especially in that whole household. Yeah, I would think that living day to day in that household and under those conditions would at the very least cause depression. Susan Going says, if the FBI and TBI has this information, why no arrest? That's the $1 million question. They may be building a case, Susan, and that's what I suspect, that they are building a case here. And it's not just a matter of getting an arrest. It's also a matter of making it stick. And we don't want what happened in the Casey Anthony case, where she, I can't say, she was found innocent, but I mean, public opinion is that she did it. And so we don't want that to happen in this case. I hope I answered your question, Susan. Anna D said, never once was I moved to tears by anything the parents said. Jose moved me to tears in one sentence. Yeah, it was really hard to listen to. And I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of a trigger warning on this live stream today, because the next couple of clips I'm going to play you may find to be upsetting. Rose said, it's like a monster. The longer you can avoid it, the stronger it gets. PTSD can be so deadly if not treated. Thanks for that, Rose. Thanks for sharing that. Snow says, there are a few things in the story that make me feel questionable, but for the most part, he seems sincere and truly upset. Jose be the one who set Summer free. I hope you're right, Snow. I pray that you're right. CCare RN and at Anna D, me too, worse than I ever imagined. I have Okay, E. Caroline, your comment, it's not going to let me play that. You can't. You have to watch the words that you use, guys. In the top chat, there's certain words you can't put in there that I just can't let it go out onto YouTube. Sandra says, I listened to the entire 5 hour interview and I felt like Jose was telling the truth as he remembers it. Mama Bierman says, woo, woo, first live for me. Welcome, Mama. Glad you're here. If you guys just joined us, subscribe and you guys can join the top chat. You just need to be subscribed for 1 minute and you can join us. I have 3 more sections that I'm going to play for you of Jose, 3 key points from the Justice for All interview that I'm going to play, and we're going to discuss each point as we go. And I would love, love, love to have your opinion on this. Snow says, does anyone know the cell phone story and the truth to it? Do we know if he threw the cell phone away for any particular reason? I did listen to that, Snow, and he is saying he had the PTSD. He is saying he had PTSD, so he threw it in the ocean, and he has a new cell phone and a new cell phone number. Donna says she's patiently waiting for justice to be served. Yes, I think we're all waiting for that, Donna. We're all ready for that to happen. Mama Bierman says, I love the sparkling filter. Thanks, Mama Bierman. It's always good to sparkle a little bit. Whatever 007ism says, while Jose was there for over 5 months, he didn't have a car. He said he would have to get out of New York for safety reasons. I would feel trapped. Yeah, I would feel really trapped in that house. I can understand completely why he would have PTSD, and I would be really, really upset. And then after learning what happened with Summer, we do have to ask, well, how would we react? I know how some of us have reacted just hearing about what happened to Summer. We didn't know her and love her. But I felt like Jose gave us a really beautiful picture of who Summer was. I mean, she's not a learning disabled child, as some has said. It sounds like she was vibrant and beautiful. Kimberly Andren says maybe he did clean up while he was there, but remember, he's been gone from there for quite a while. Good point, Kimberly. Raina Payne says, in my opinion, Jose sounded like he had a lot of feeling for Candus. I thought he did too. Do you think Candus deserved Jose's empathy? Because I don't know, some of her actions of sitting on YouTube, literally wearing a tinfoil hat and blocking people who are trying to talk about her missing daughter, saying she's going to put Summer to the side. I don't know. What do you guys think? Ricky Beaver says, I do believe Summer is alive, and we'll say that. And E. Caroline, I'm just going to... There's certain words you cannot put in your comments, guys. Snow, oh, okay, that does make sense from him having PTSD. He most likely wanted to be off the grid, not wanting to talk to anyone. So, yeah, he talked to authorities. That's what he said. And then he threw his phone in the ocean. JC Tranick, hi, welcome. Lisa Irwin says, I think it was established Jose was there from the first stock car race in the area until the end of October. He said exactly 5 to 6 months. I bet he does not know exactly. Yeah, he was stressed out. Fair enough. I think, he does kind of give a window there, doesn't he? We're going to play the next little section that I wanted to discuss in just a moment. Fairy Dust Diaries 101. Nope. She deserves zero empathy. And I'm assuming you're talking about Candus. Yes, I agree. Beverly Lawyer says, no, I did not like Jose defending Monster Mom. Yeah, that's the only part. I mean, I know he knows her and cares about her, but I felt like she didn't really deserve that. Now, maybe he hasn't been following everything because he's, been off the grid, so he hasn't seen everything that's gone on. And he also does know her in a way that we don't know her. But Kathy Marchbank says Dawn didn't like kittens in the house. We're gonna play that portion in just a few minutes. Chris McDonough interview down in the basement. There was a small kitten in the stairs behind Candus. So, yeah, I don't know if Don just lost his temper. That just gave me really... Oh, there's E. Caroline. Okay, I can read this one. Don says, and the shower situation with Summer pretty much flushes him down the chute. Yeah, I agree, E. Caroline. That shower and just the whole bathroom. They said that bathroom didn't have a door. It had 2 dressers that were stacked up like this with a blanket. That was like you had a stall I guess, in the middle of the house. But I wondered how come neighbors could see Dawn showering with Summer. Now we know there was no door. And we're also going to talk about the door in the basement and the couch that Jose says was put in front of that. And I did do look closely at the basement door. And if you look at the pictures, you can see that the door opens to the inside. There is molding that goes around the door on the outside. So you cannot, so the door would open inward. And so the couch blocking the door would have kept Summer from leaving. But what do you guys think about that door not having a proper lock on it and a couch just pushed in front of it? Because to me, a child could still, move the couch. I mean, I guess it depends on how heavy the couch was. Sandra says, absolutely made me cry for Summer was the kitten story. I can't imagine what that would do for a child's mind. Yep, I'm giving you guys a trigger warning. I am going to play that portion of the interview. We are going to talk about it. Sandra says, what absolutely made me cry for Summer was a kitten story. Snow says, lots of laughs. Okay with the tinfoil hat. I kept looking. Was there any way she was highlighting her hair? Because the video blew my mind. It was super weird. I'm not going to lie. I know the tinfoil hat and the divining rods. It's really strange. It's really strange. Candus deserves nothing, let alone empathy. Fairy Dust Diary says, yes, referring to Candus. That's what I thought, Fairy Dust. Snow, I hate the thought of Summer showering with Dawn. I do too. Yeah, Fairy Dust, I can't, there's like one word that YouTube isn't going to let me put on there, but he did spank her down the driveway. Mama Bierman said, how about Jose saying that neither Dawn or Candace went to church the entire time we're there? Yeah, what do you guys think about that? They said Jose and, Dawn has wrapped himself in the cross. He has wrapped himself in with the church. And what do you think about the Jose saying they didn't go to church, not the whole time that he was there? So maybe they only go to church when Dawn's at home? Or do you think that church is just a way to wrap themselves up in Christianity? Mama Bierman says, how about Jose saying about the church? We just talked about that. And then people, hi, Okie Dokie 7 sometimes. Thanks, you, Okie Dokie 7. Rose 1033 says, I didn't see the cat story, so I'm braced. Yeah, I'm giving you guys a trigger warning today. I'm just saying. Darlene says, when McDonald's was downstairs, they went out the back door. No couch there. Yeah, when Chris McDonough, I think you're saying Chris McDonough, Darlene. Yeah, when Chris McDonough was there, they went out the door and Candace showed she was locking it. And I wondered why she made such a big deal out of showing Chris that she was locking that door. And now we know that the lock was broken. We don't know if it was broken on June 15th when Summer disappeared, but we know that the lock was broken. And while Jose was there was a couch pushed up against the door to keep Summer from leaving because she had run off and wandered off. I didn't see the couch in Chris McDonough's video. Did they get rid of it fairly quick? Great. That's $1 million question, Lisa. Great question. Don admitted to showering with Summer. Yes, he did. He sure did. He admitted to some other things too. Holly Golightly, we knew Don wasn't a true churchgoer. Remember, Candace was knocked out there. Yeah, we have the pictures of Candace sound asleep at church. Snow is talking about snakes. I don't know anything about that. The church is a cover. I don't know if the church is. So you think that that Don is wrapping himself up and that's a cover up for the fact that of his behavior. And for those of you that don't know, this isn't Don's first jail time. He's been convicted of multiple felonies in multiple states, including breaking into people's houses. So was Don a sociopath or psychopath? We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. So let's play the next little section that I have here of the Justice for All interview that I want you guys to hear. And if you want to join the top chat, you just need to be subscribed for 60 seconds. I do want to hear your opinion on these, and I'm going to read them out. If you don't want your opinion read, just let me know in the opinion.
There was a time where Hunter had gotten Summer a little cat. It was a beautiful kitten, white and
Trigger
gray.
warning.
And I remember where Hunter had brought it, everyone was freaking out, because it looked so cute. And Summer loved it. Summer would carry that baby kitten everywhere. If she went to bed, if she went to the bathroom, once she tried to take the kitten with her to, get wet in the sink, and I remember the kitten jumping down and running away. So when Donnie had came back, he didn't want the cat in the house. He was irate, and he got so upset, and he yelled at Summer, "I told you I don't want the fucking cat in the house." And he grabbed the kitten, opened the door, and literally threw the kitten in between the dogs, and the dogs shredded that kitten to bits.
So to be clear, Jose saying that Don took Summer's beloved kitten and opened the door, and the dogs were out there, and the dogs were underfed because they were reportedly only getting 2 shovelfuls of food for 15 to 20 animals. And if you throw something furry into the air too, a dog's instinct is going to be to get it. And they probably were having to hunt for food on the property because they weren't being fed properly, according to Jose. So Summer had to watch this, and so did Jose. So did the other kids. So what do you guys think about that? Trigger warnings over if you guys want to join the discussion. Let's see where we're at. Darlene Jorrell says many have said the only time Don went to church was when he felt guilty of something. Donna Rush says he uses the church. Lisa Irwin says, I think Don went to church for community service. I think he told Chris that. Oh, so he was getting community service for his part of his sentencing for something? Is that what you're thinking? Because I hadn't heard that. Kay says they began to go to church as a family after Jose left. Snow says the only picture I've seen of them in church was Candus sleeping. Mama Bierman, I love this format. Jessica, thank you, Mama Bierman. I really appreciate your encouragement. Thank you. Silver Moon Tarot says hello. Whatever 007ism says, sometime after Jose left, Children's Services did come to the home. Yes, they did. And for those of you that don't know, Child Protective Services in Tennessee, it's a felony if you're convicted of harming a child under the of age 8 or younger. And Summer disappeared when Child Protective Services had opened a case into Summer Wells, and she was the only child in the household who was under the age of 8. She was a preschooler. She was 5 years old. So she was the only one that could have put them, Dawn and Candus or Grandis, into jail for a felony. And the felony minimum is 2 years. And the maximum, I believe, is 14 years. So tell me what you guys think about that, too. If you don't know, you can join the top chat and talk about us. We're listening to recordings from the interview that I pre-prepared. And we're discussing each one of the recordings. So Kenzie Wright says Jose did say he had talked with TBI. Yes, he did. I thought he said FBI, but he could have talked with both. And I just wrote down FBI. So thanks for that, Kenzie. Rose says, oh my God, yes, I agree. Anna D has a crying emoji. Holly Golightly, yes, no, I agree. The church is suspect too. Silver Moon Tarot has just a gut reaction of, oh, CKRN, Don has been ordered community service at the church. Afterward, they started going there. Okay, so that's interesting. That's the first I've heard of this part, CKRN. Thanks for sharing that. Snow, trigger warning. Yep, I've said that throughout the video. Thanks, Snow. It is definitely. Susan Goen says it's been said that Don mistreated the dogs also. Yes, and underfeeding them. They've been removed. Those particular dogs have been removed from the Wells home. They were removed by animal services. So any dogs that are there now are different dogs. Silver Moon Tarot says Dawn definitely uses the church in more ways than one. Mama Beer is talking to Critical RN and says thank you. I think we all thank our registered nurses out there, our respiratory therapists, our CNAs, all of you guys. We all thank you for the work that you do with people each and every day. And C. Cooper says Donwell is vindictive, in my opinion. The poor kitty cat incident. Yeah, I that alone, I had, I couldn't go to sleep after I listened to it. I couldn't even make a video the first day. I was so disturbed by that story. CKRN said this is another way Dawn tried to gain control and scare Summer into not talking. That could be, yeah. Whatever 007ism says, we went to church for food and clothes. They went to church for food and clothes. That would probably help, and that churches are about helping people. Marina Payne says, the SPC, I can't believe the SPCA removed all the pets and they got more pets. I know. Silver Montero, just a little bit more time. Lisa Gillenwater, this kitten story let me know Dawn is evil. I don't put anything past that monster. Angie Davis says hello from West Virginia. Hi, Angie. Welcome. Marissa Rose says Summer disappeared, only helped Dawn and Candus. ... Organized. Yeah. So what do you think about that? Because the big beneficiaries of her disappearance, being that there was a Child Protective Services case opened into Summer Wells prior to her disappearance, and we know the minimum jail time is 2 to 12 years. The minimum is 2 years. So that's some serious jail time. And Summer was the only child in that household that disappeared. And she was the only child in that household who was 8 or under. She was 5 years old. Lisa Gillenwater said this kitten story lets me know Don is evil. I don't put anything past him. And JC Trenick thinks Tim Mullen took Summer. I don't, what makes you think that? Because I don't know. I don't think that. I don't see how, what motivation he would have for that. I don't see a motivation. And to me, there would have to be some kind of motivation. Rose 1033, Don would have gotten 25 years plus for Summer. He was a second 2-time felony, and Tennessee is 3 strikes, you're out. That's exactly right, Rose. He would have gotten 25 years for that violation. So that's a motive, in my opinion. C. Cooper, I wish there could be school records showing Candus did get their shots and actually register her for kindergarten. Yeah, I wish we could independently verify that. Lisa Irwin says, wow, I never heard that before. J.C. Tranick, Susan Goen says the dogs are puppies that were born on the property. Some of them were, and now they are, Susan. But at the time when Summer disappeared, Don has said himself that there were strays that were being dropped off at the property, or strays that were just joining their gang of dogs on the property. And 2 shovelfuls of food just isn't enough. Beverly Lawyer says Mary said Wells essay, an animal. She has seen him. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. Beverly Lawyer, Mary said, okay, that's from Beverly. Lisa is talking to somebody else. Silver Montero, yep. Lynn Morrison says PTSD does not go away. It can be controlled, but there are triggers. And vets actually go back to Vietnam. My brother suffers with that to this day. Tell your brother, thank you for serving our country. He's a hero. Lisa Irwin is talking to C. Cooper. Snow said they went for food and clothes. I'm assuming you're talking about church, Snow. Yet Summer was still wearing clothes that did not fit and full of holes. Yeah. Jose said the outfit that in the clip I played for you, he said the outfit that she had on was the nicest outfit he ever saw her in. Does that have any significance? Silver Montero says he's grooming that oldest boy. The boys have all been removed from their custody. We're going to play the next section. Nurses are our heroes. Yes, Holly Golightly, I agree with you. Marissa Rose feels that Summer became a liability. What do you guys think about that? Was she? JC Trinick says, thank you. Thank you too, JC. Mama Bear, the kitten story shows Don's rage and unable to control his emotions. Makes you wonder what he did to the kids when he got angry. Yeah. Can you imagine being a child and what they probably saw in that house, what that would have felt like? Lisa Gillenwater said, I feel like Summer was essayed by Don. He knew she would tell on him and he would go to prison, and that's why she disappeared. A lot of people feel like you do, Lisa. Lisa Irwin is talking to Snow. Snow is talking to Mama Bear. Lisa Irwin had no shoes. I meant. Oh, thanks, Lisa. Yeah, so Summer disappeared without her parents say without her shoes. But now we know she did wander off the property. We know that the door may or may not have had a working lock on it. And we know from looking at the photos, it appears that the door opened toward the inside and was that there was a couch in front of the door while Jose was there to keep Summer from getting out. Was the couch in front of the door on June 15th? That's what we don't know. Okie dokie says, seems like a revolving door of dogs. Don also said they were not there that day, that Summer went missing. He didn't know why. Yeah, that was kind of suspect that the dogs just happened to go that day, right? Tamara says, hello. Hi, Tamara. And Snow just says to Lisa, so sad. So let's listen to the next portion. And I am giving you guys a trigger warning on this. We have 2 more recordings that we're going to listen to. If you want to share your opinions on the recordings, all you need to do is join the top chat, subscribe for 60 seconds, and you can join our top chat. We would love to hear what you think. Okay, here we go. Trigger warning, guys.
Okay, so basically one night we were drinking and they got drunk, and Hunter and her admitted that Hunter lost his virginity to Candus in that house. There you go. But supposedly it only happened one time and it never happened again. And they basically said don't say nothing because they didn't want Allie to know anything. Because as far as I know Allie, I think she would have literally hurt that woman if she would have known the truth.
Okay, trigger warning is off on that. So we're going to call him H because he is a minor and he was a minor. I appreciate Jose sharing that. I think that is probably the real reason that Allie and Candus's friendship ended. I always thought their reasons were kind of weird. And I want, when we're discussing this, please remember that Hunter is a minor. And what Candus did, if this is true, this is being alleged by Jose, is an indictable offense. And it's not legally allowed in the state of Tennessee. You have to be 18 or older to consent. And there is one small caveat, and that is if you are under 18 and your partner is also within 4 years of you under 18. So a 16-year-old and a 17-year-old can consent. They don't prosecute for that. But Candus would have been in her late 30s. She would have been in her late 30s. So I'm wondering if they're holding that. What do you guys think? If you want to join the top chat and share your thoughts, just subscribe for 1 minute and you can join in the conversation. Okay. So Susan Going says, how does Don know anything? He was supposedly not there. I'm assuming he's repeating what what Candus and Grandis told him, Susan. But, I would imagine that authorities have probably been working if they feel like Don was there. We don't know for sure where Don was. The only word we have of where Don was Don's word and Candus's word. So where was he that day? I don't know. Was he at work all day? I don't know. Did he sneak home at some point? We know Jody Sue has talked about a Suburban coming up the driveway. What was that about? We don't know. We also have showing that we have that message that Dawn shared with No Thanks that says Hun, Some, I, and Candus were planting flowers. It's allegedly from Grandis. So was H planting flowers with Grandis, Candus, and Summer on the day that Summer disappeared? We don't know. But he is a minor. And what she did is a jailable offense. So Anna D wants to know where the cuffs are. Yeah, I agree. Vibes just has a crying face emoji. Mama Bear says, does Jose know what happened or does he just think that happened? Mama Bear, what he said was that they, whoever they were, so at least we know at least Candus was one of the people in that conversation. I don't know who else was there, admitted to him after drinking that they did it, that she did it. And I guess they laughed about it. They thought it was funny. Rose 1033 says, I don't think that's a surprise to anyone. I agree. Allie broke the friendship over that. Black Cadillac says, I think they're adding up the charges. I think so too. Wow. Thanks, G.O. Hickey. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. Purple summer moon extract. Dawn reminds me of my stepfather who drank every night and beat me while I was doing dishes, getting me to the ground. And oh my gosh, I'm heartbroken to hear that. I'm heartbroken to hear that. He sounds awful, and I hope that you're safe now. Lisa Irwin says Dawn borrowed someone else's vehicle. You know, that's a great question. Um, there was a Suburban on the property. There are pictures in Chris McDonough's video of a Suburban on the property. Was it the same one that Jody Sue heard? I don't know. Holly Golightly said he should not have said that about H. He's a minor and he was aiding and abetting SA. I feel like that may be why he disappeared, because why didn't he come forward? Right? That's something that should have been reported at the time. When he heard that, he had an obligation to report that, and he didn't. And, you know, maybe that's part of the guilt in this case. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he did report it and we just don't know about it. That's also possible. Sergeant Friday says hello. Welcome. Good to see you, Sergeant Friday. Energy Shot said, if Allie knew of H being SA'd, why would she allow him to go to the swim hole with Candus, especially if that's what broke the friendship off? That's a really good question, Energy Shots. That's a really great question. Yeah. Marissa says, I believe Candus did SAH. Lots of inappropriate behavior and lack of ethics in chalet wells. Yep. Tamara says, talking to Summer, Purple Summer Moon, expressing her sympathies. And Black Cadillac says, so I'm so upset that H has been spread all over the world. That poor kid, he's allegedly, yes, I know. I agree. And that's why I don't want to use his name in the chat. And yeah, I think it's really, really upsetting. It's really, really sad. Long Beach Hippie, watch your words. I can't see your whole message. Mama Bear says that's horrific. Purple Summer Moon Extract says thank you. This is crazy what people do behind closed doors. And we're going to talk about what the kids saw, because we're going to talk about that peephole next. I'm going to play you the clip next about the peephole, and we're going to discuss it. Holly Galeta says, I'm mad that Jose outed H to all of social media. How would we feel? Yeah, I would be traumatized. Yeah, Holly, I agree with that. I, you know, that was probably something that could have been told to authorities. Anna D said she's so sorry. She sends hugs to Purple Summer Moon. And some of you guys are talking to each other. I'm going to not read those ones. Lynn Morrison said the door looked like it was a toy room, but the room with a big TV was a parents' room. Okay, so Candus has said that room was a playroom. Dawn has said that room was Summer's room. There was a horrible mattress on the floor. I'm sorry, Candus told Chris McDonough that was Summer's room. So yeah, great question. Sonia Stanger's in the house. Hi, Sonia. Thank you. Thanks for joining the chat. I'm glad to see you. Sonia is one of our channel members, and we really appreciate you guys so much. Sergeant Friday is talking to Energy Shots. Sky Blue Moon says, yes, hugs and prayers to Purple Summer Moon. Darlene Jordal says, Allie also wanted Jose, so if she saw him or her with H, she probably lost it. Oh, yeah, they had some kind of, I don't know. He said it was a one-time thing with Allie. So I don't know if that was part of why they broke up. That was the reason that was given, but we don't know. Lisa Irwin, Candus's first interview was full of virtue signaling. Yes, it was, Lisa. Yes, it was. Candus couldn't, Summer was, that day, we have Summer with swimming in a dank watering hole without a life vest. We have Summer on video and photograph, the last photograph, the final photograph of Summer, without a car seat, even though she weighed at the most 40 pounds, which is what they said to the gone missing. So she should have been in some kind of a booster seat. And her seatbelt is behind her across her lap, but the top part is not brought around here. It's behind her. So she was not properly belted in. But, Candace wants us to believe that she was watch Summer walk from her mother's trailer, which was 15 to 20 feet, into the front door. And she told the boys to watch Summer. Talk about passing the buck and throwing your boys under the bus. I feel like she did. I feel like she did. And I don't. And then she was also helping Grandis with her knee brace. Do you guys buy that? What do you think? Mick Bro says, I feel like he said, she said, one of them needs to be truthful for charges to be brought against Candus. Exactly. And I think authorities are building a case here because they don't want to just get into one person against another one. They do need to have a case. Do you think this is why Hunter didn't have his cell phone back during the Chris McDonough interview? Is that why authorities hung on to Hunter's phone? If H wouldn't say anything about having, oh gosh, I can't read that out loud. Let's not have that. No. Okay. Purple Summer Moon wants you to know she's okay. H is a kid. Sergeant Friday says he will always be affected by this. H has now become a household name. Yes, you're right. They partied so hard in that house, all of them. No one was watching the kids responsibly, even Jose. Let's be honest. You're right. You're right. And I think he carries a lot of guilt from that. He's the only one that's admitted that he should have done better by Summer. He's the only one that's, really expressed sadness over what happened to Summer and taken some level of accountability for it, in my opinion. Tamara is sending you hearts, Summer. Purple Summer Moon. Sky Blue Moon says clearly they all have groomed H. Oh, that's sad. Okie Dokie 7 says the peepholes were throughout the house, drilled into the heat rise from the cellar and the wood stove. Can't imagine who saw what over the years. Yeah, we're going to play that portion in just a second and talk about it, you guys. I'm going to give you a trigger warning before I play that portion also. Raina Payne said, what is your opening on this being trafficking? I don't know, Raina. I don't know. It is possible. There's been a lot made about the for sale barrel, that it was not a burn barrel. There's no hole cut in the top. The Wells have said that was for selling a car. So I don't know. Such a great question. And I wish I had a better answer for you. Teresita Hill said, what will Don do to Candus when he gets out of jail? I have no idea. Hopefully nothing, because I think everybody deserves to feel safe. Vibes is talking to Teresita. Patricia Andrews says she thinks Don was home. He called Candus, and she said she'd be home soon with mom getting meds. Yeah, I'm wondering, we've heard that the boys were left home with Don that day. Don, taunted Candus and said, Candus, I have 7 alibis. Candus ain't got none. She's going down. And I'm just wondering, does he really have 7 alibis? Was he really at work? And I would imagine that law enforcement's been working to try to break that alibi or confirm that alibi if Don was really at home for some portion of the day, because that whole phone call was really strange, wasn't it, at the Walgreens? What do you guys think about that? So we're going to play the next section in just a moment, and we're going to discuss it. Doohickey says, right. Silver Moon Tarot says, sounds about right. Sky Blue Moon says, I totally believe they came upon a trafficking, and it's way worse than we all realize. It could be, Sky Blue. It could be. Some creators really have come out strong that they think that's what's happened. The only thing I say about that is, she was known to wander away. So, it could also be that. We've got the blue nail beds. I mean, there's just so many things that could have gone wrong. And if you look at the house and all of the junk, not just inside the house, but outside the house. It was, not exactly the safest area for children. What do you guys think about that? There was like a canoe by the door that could just fall over on someone. There's a refrigerator that Summer allegedly liked to play hide and seek and go in and hide in. I mean, these are all dangerous things for a preschooler. Not appropriate at all. And Gary Overman says she was only gone, but she was only gone 2 minutes, right? Yeah, exactly. Candus and her 2 minutes. What do you guys think? Do you think she was gone more than 2 minutes? Did she go to drive H back home? Because according to the thing that Dawn shared with No Thanks Doug, that message, and I covered this in another video, but it says right there in the message, Hun. And originally I thought that Grandis was addressing the person as Hun, but I've come to believe that Hun is H. So, Kayla, welcome. You've missed some, but you can replay it. Holly Golightly says, is talking to Patricia. Christine Robinson said, H is only about 70% truthful. I think everyone is probably sharing their version of the truth. So people are going to tell it from their point of view. So things are going to vary a little bit. Groomed, sorry, typed up. Thank you so much. Snow said H was removed from Allie's care from what I heard today. It's now and is now in the system. I have not been able to independently confirm that. I've heard rumors about that, but I have not been able to independently confirm that. But if he was, I send prayers to him. Darlene Jordal says we are forgetting that if he gets a felony, and she's talking about Dawn, about his sisters and Summer, he would be in prison. Yeah. And maybe that's where he should be. What do you guys think? Sonia Stanger says, in Washington State, when a child is in foster care, the parent or parents has to pay child support. So all the money that Child Protective Services or that Candace Bly is getting, she's responsible to pay to foster care for the boys. Isn't she responsible? I don't know if that's the law in Tennessee. If anybody knows, please tell me. I would love to have a great answer for that question. I'll research it for sure when we get off. Lisa Irwin says we want to know more about the red truck and the ladder that Dawn supposedly borrowed to drive a long distance. Yes, everybody's been talking about this red truck, and Candace even said in her interview, which she didn't give an interview on June 15th, June 16th, June 17th. She didn't go on camera till June 28th. And she talked about that red truck. She sure would like to know. And now we have learned that Dawn borrowed a red truck that he used to drive. Great point, Lisa. Thank you for bringing that up in the chat. And Snow said H went through Candace's phone like a jealous schoolboy. Well, he was just a kid. Yeah. I think pictures of H and Candace are, yeah, I agree with that. Dawn might face 8 SA charges. Yeah, there are 5 women or so. My understanding is there's 2 stepsisters and then 4 other women. So 6 total, according to Chris McDonough. Patricia says 7 alibis. Someone's lying. Yeah. Who do you think it is, Patricia? I'm just curious. Lisa Morrison said it would be Dawn's 3rd strike and 3 strikes you're out. Yeah, 3 strikes and you're 25 years are up. So for those of you that don't know, the law in Tennessee is really strict. If the child is 8 years old or younger and you are found guilty of harming that child, you get 2 to 12 years mandatory. And there was a Child Protective Services case opened into Summer, reportedly. So Dawn, this would have been his 3rd strike, and so he would have been facing 25 years. Is that a motive, you guys? I don't know. You tell me what you think. Renee, welcome. She's a new sub. Lisa Irwin, the deadly swing. Yeah, the swing is not safe either. Sergeant Friday says the party house was dangerous for everyone. Not safe at all. I agree. And Deborah Palmer says Dawn may not get out of jail. He could be extradited for Utah for SA for his stepsister. Yep, I agree. And Sonia says I don't know what SMH stands for. I'm embarrassed. I guess I'm dating myself. You'll have to spell it out for me, Sonia. I don't know. Um, okay, I'm going to play the next portion. I'm going to give you guys a trigger warning. This is the next portion of the interview for Justice for All. I'm playing this under the Fair Use Act. I'm going to play it for you. Trigger warning. Um, when I go like this, I'm done with the recording. You can unmute it if you're going to mute it. And then we're going to discuss it. If you want to discuss it, just subscribe for 60 seconds and join the chat. Okay, here we go, guys.
The time we were at the kitchen table and they were talking about the time that Allie's daughter was there, and I believe it was Candus' stepson or son. They were having sex downstairs, and the kids were watching it through a hole in the wall. And, you know, it was. I'm looking at them like, what the hell? Like, what's going on here? You know, like, but what's really going on in this house? Because that's really a dirty secret, you know, like real dirty.
So there was some kind of peephole. Some people are saying it was from. Somebody told me in the chat that it was for that the peepholes were for heating or air conditioning to get through to other rooms, but the kids were using them. You know, what did those kids see? What did those kids witness? What do you guys think? Let's talk about it. If you want to join the discussion, just join the top chat and I will talk about it with you. Holly Golightly says there have been trafficking rings busted up. So look it up in Hawkins County. Yeah, I've heard that too. There have been multiple rings, and that's apparently a hotbed for that in the United States, that area. Patricia, thank you, Holly. That's a great point. Patricia says, Andrew says, that little bug knew her property, barefoot or not. Yeah, she did. Purple Summer Moon Extract says, gone more than for sure. Christine Logan says, I hope TBI do something to stop YouTube create. Oh, shoot, I just lost the comment. Oh, man, I just lost my place on the chat. I hope. Let me see if I can go back. Hold on. Sorry, you guys. I just don't want to. I'm trying to get all the comments on here. Christine Logan. Okay, I'm back to where I was. Okay, Christine Logan says, I hope TBI will do something to stop YouTube creators spreading H in his sister's name. They are minors. They have school and the rest of their lives ahead of them. You're right, Christine. Unfortunately, it's out there. It's out there in a big way. And I don't know if there's a way to like pull it all back in. I don't know if they can pull the information back in now that it's out there. It's in the public domain now. What do you guys think? Linda, one of my thoughts, she locked herself in that fridge. That was her go-to hiding place. So yeah, we know, for those of you that, you know, I'm dating myself a little bit, but I mean, we were always told not to play in the refrigerators when we were little because it happened a lot to kids where kids would get locked in those refrigerators. They love to hide in there. Whatever 007ism says, I now believe most of the script is just a script, not the truth. Yeah, Grandis kind of blew that script out of the water, didn't she? And both Peter Hyatt and I can't remember the guy, he's Truth to Lies is his channel, but he also blew the whole thing. The story was scripting. He kind of blew the whistle on that, saying that he felt that there was scripting involved. And Peter Hyatt went so far as to say he was concerned about it. He was concerned when he did an analysis of Don Wells' statement. Kid Sunny says, hello. Okie dokie 7 says, I think she and grandma were swapping TikToks and lost track of time like I do watching lives, and all of a sudden 3 hours just passed. Yeah, it could be, but Grandis says she took a nap. So Grandis kind of gave herself a little alibi. She pulled herself out of it. And I'm wondering if that was calculated on her part. Vibe says from the piece of candy was all lies. So you don't think Grandis gave Summer a piece of peppermint candy? Jose also talked about Summer having some kind of a choking incident with a peppermint candy and that he was dividing them in half for her. So I guess she really did like them. Mama Bear says, I think you're talking about Candus went to sleep and nobody was looking after the kids like every other day. Very possible. Patricia Andrews said she heard that H was with his dad. No, Andrew said that he was not. I saw him last night on a live and he denied it. So I don't know, Patricia, if unless he's gone there today, which is, I guess, possible. Sergeant Friday says she was absolutely gone for more than 2 minutes, or quote, gone from being yeah, I agree, Sergeant Friday. I agree. Brown Sugar 82. I also feel like Dawn was the prowler and possibly snuck her without others knowing. That may be why he was at work and got home so quickly, even before the police arrived. Yeah, that was kind of weird. And then he went running to the shed. What was that about? Like, your daughter is missing, your wife's frantic, according to them, but your first stop is the funky shed at the bottom of the property. He had to drive past his driveway to go there. So, that's never added up on the story to me either, guys. What do you think about that? Rose 1033 says she thinks that H has been told not to say something by law enforcement. Yeah, I'm like wondering if that's why when he did the interview with Chris McDonough, why the law enforcement still had his phone, if they were verifying things, or if it's going to be evidence in a future case. Black Cadillac says, I was wondering if Jose was in a mental facility in the time he was, quote, off the grid. He didn't say that he was. It could be that he sought help. It could be that, he just, had PTSD. So let's talk a little bit about sociopath, psychopath. I want to give you guys all the information because I want you to be able to, arm yourself and have every bit of information so that you can make up your own mind about this case. But after hearing the story about Jose talking about Dawn and Summer's kitten and about Candus and H, do you think that Dawn and or Candus could be a psychopath? A psychopath doesn't have a conscience, and if he lies to you, it's he'll lie to you to get your money. He doesn't feel any moral obligation or qualms, although they can pretend to. They can come across as very charming. They observe others and then act the way that they do, so they're not, quote, found out. And Dawn has multiple felonies in multiple states, including breaking into people's houses. So what is the difference between a sociopath and a psychopath? Well, a psychopath is the word that psychologists actually use. Sociopath typically has a conscience, but is considered to be like a weak conscience. So not like a really strong, definitive sense of right and wrong. So they'll know that taking your money is wrong, and they might feel some guilt or even some remorse about it, but it won't stop them from taking your money. And sociopath is not a clinical term. Psychopath is. Both personality disorders have no empathy. They can be intelligent. They can be charming. They can be really good at pretending or mimicking other people's emotions. And sociopaths are less likely than a psychopath to be able to kind of play along. They'll make it plain that they're not interested in anyone but themselves. So to be clear, I'm not diagnosing anyone. Just giving you opinions so you guys can make up your own mind about this. So Christina Logan says she hopes Jose's stories don't harm the case. I cannot imagine FBI being happy with this all over the internet. We need everything spot on to get these people behind bars and some are found. Yeah, I agree, Christina. I don't know if he had permission or not. If you could give this video a thumbs up, it will really help me with the YouTube algorithm too, guys. Thank you. And Roberta Ann Apple says, I hope we find Summer because she's a little girl and she's missing. He said she will always be there. I just wish we could find a missing little girl. Yeah, I do too, Roberta. Rose 1033 says, I don't think that applies to the situation with the boys. I think it's only paid when parents, so she's talking about the child support. Is Candus required to pay child support? It's only paid when parents meet certain criteria to pay child support. That would make sense. And that that would make sense. Patricia Andrews says, Dawn is my guess. Renee Payne says, I was a foster parent in Ohio, and it is true for Ohio as well. The money is paid to the state, not to the foster parents. And Sonia Sanger says, amen to Roberta. Silver Moon says, wow. Lisa Irwin says, I have wondered ever since Dudley's interview, was the milk for Dawn a reason to go meet him halfway? Candus was supposed to go there to the water park in Jonesboro, and H said, but Grandis's knee. Yeah, great point, Lisa. Aunt B says hello. Snow says, is talking to Raina Payne. Holly Golightly says, prison for Dawn, prison for Candus. Pay up the child support to the state. Bless the boys. Yes, I agree with you, Holly. I I I do really, my heart breaks for the boys for what they've seen, what they've witnessed. Um, it is really sad. And hearing about the peepholes, it makes you wonder what all they've seen, not just inappropriate acts between adults, but inappropriate and other behaviors, altercations, words that they've heard being thrown around. We know Dawn reportedly liked to drop the F-bomb a lot. Sonia's shaking her head. Sky Blue Moon says, absolutely, it's a motive. Patricia Andrews says, I'd be more apt to think Dawn was angry when Candace got home, went off. Yeah, it could be. A.G. Copeland, Black Cadillac, is talking to Black Cadillac. Purple Summer Moon Extract, shaking my head. Oh, thank you. I didn't know what that meant, and thanks for clarifying that. So shaking my head. Okay. Snow says Justice for All is a great guy. He did an amazing job with the interview. I agree, Snow. I thought the interview was really well done, really well thought out, and I give him a lot of credit for it. Oh my gosh. I just lost my place again. There's 5 holes in the refrigerator. My understanding was they put air holes in it, but I don't know when they put them in, Connie. Great point. I know people are saying the fridge had bullet holes. It could be, but it could have also been drilled in, or they could have put them in. But my understanding was we don't know when they were put in, just like we don't know when the lock on the door was fixed on that basement door. We don't know. Okay, I've definitely missed some comments, and I apologize. It wasn't intentional. I just hit something and it just rushed down. I'm just going to pick up where I can see. Lady May, if I missed you, just go ahead and repost the comment. I'm sorry. Sonia Stenger, Steve Johnson is the body language or statement analyst that appeared with Chris McDonough. Thank you. Lady May says, hi, y'all. I'm late to the chat. Hey, Lady May, glad you're here. Connie Hilliker says the holes were put in the floor for the heat to rise from the wood burner in the basement. Thanks for that, Connie. So were the holes just in the floor or they were in the walls too? And it does make you really wonder, like, what, I guess if they were on the floor and you were on the top floor and adults were doing inappropriate things in the basement, the kids could still see. So, and apparently there was no door on the bathroom. It was just 2 dressers stacked up. So yeah, really, really makes you wonder what the kids saw. I think the old refrigerators with the lock handles, you had to defrost the freezer. Yeah, thanks, Beverly. They would lock and you couldn't get them open from the inside. Lynn Morrison says CPS failed the baby summer. I feel like if we want CPS to do a really good job of taking care of children, we need to fund them properly. I don't want to blame the people who work for CPS, because with all the research that I've done, what I've learned is that they have too many cases, too many kids, not enough places to place children. And yes, definitely more needed to be done with summer. I agree with you, Lynn. I just think we need to fund child protective services better if we want to, and give them enough people to cover these cases. And we need to fund foster parents better so that they're able to take children into their home without pulling out money from their own pockets to do it. Steve is awesome. I agree with you, Anna. Denver, Gigi says Candy was a lie. They all said it was because it was scripted. Yeah, she pretty much blew their scripting out, didn't she? AJ Copeland said they had a ton of holes drilled through the refrigerator and the freezer. The video shows that they had holes in all the refrigerators so that if a child did go inside, the kids would not. So good. Thanks for that, AG. Brown Sugar says, wonder if the cadaver dogs would have sensed her if she. I would think they would have picked up on that. I would think that they would have. I would think you're right, Brown Sugar. Good point. Connie Hilliker says there's 5 holes in the fridge now. Yes. Patricia Handrew says that nap changes everything for me. I think something happened after they got home. There was a lot of time. Laundry. Yeah. Kids playing. Yeah. A lot of time. I agree. That nap changes everything. It blows apart the 2-minute window that Candace gave. And I think all of us just were kind of shaking our head like, how does a child go missing from inside her own house behind a locked door? Something just didn't seem right. And we're learning more. And Jose gave us a great insight into that. Well, my voice is about dead, guys. I'm going to just read a few more comments and then we're going to wrap it up here. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it to be helpful. Please consider sharing it on other platforms. I just would appreciate anything you can do to support our channel. It all helps. Rose 1033 says it's time for hubby's treatment. She's going to be back. Deborah Craven says just barely caught you. Hello, everyone. Hi, Deborah. Team Rose says thank you for your amazing channel. Thank you too, Team Rose. I appreciate your positivity. And Kathy Tracy says, hi, everyone. Mama Bierman says she always thought the shed was important. I think so, too. I think the shed is really important. Connie Hilliker says Dawn went directly to the shed, actually walked up to it, he said. And that's when I knew she got gone. And the got gone is a quote from Dawn. Anna D says DW, that's Dawn Mills, did go to the shed to cover the underground entrance. I don't know about that. I've heard about there's been sheds with like a cellar. I heard there was a shed with a cellar, and I don't know if that was the shed with the cellar, but all of those areas were searched by law enforcement. Energy Shots says yes. Patricia Andrews says heck yeah. Team Huckabee says yes, they both are. Vibe says definitely narcissistic. Jada Tower says Don is a demon for what he did to that kitten. I agree. Sergeant Friday says I think Candace had a mental challenge and is self-medicating. Could be. I don't know. I haven't heard her ever like say anything like that. What do you guys think about that? Lisa Urban says they don't just say I love my kids. They have to add convincers like from the bottom of my heart, with my whole heart, and to death. Yes. Good point, Lisa. Good point. Connie Hilliker says one is born that way, the others are made that way. Ooh, that's a good comment. Holly Goulet says, in my opinion, because Summer had been in the shed, someone picked her up. So you're kind of leaning, it sounds like, toward the trafficking angle on that. And Team Rose says Jose was at the Wells house that week. I think he could be involved. I don't know. I think that it could be. Marissa thinks Dawn is a psychopath and Candace is a sociopath. Just her opinion. Thank you for sharing your opinion. Everything we're sharing today is opinions. Black Cadillac said psychopath Dawn and Candace psychopath, which is with a huge touch of borderline personality disorder. Holly Golightly said is talking to Team Rose. Curious Cat. My guess would be more along the lines of antisocial personality disorder. Yeah, that's and then when they're kids, we diagnose them with oppositional defiance disorder. I believe I'm correct. If you are an RN or a medical professional, let me know if that's the right term or not. Thank you so much, Patricia, for the thumbs up. Anita Johnson says hi. Sandra Sanders says, in my opinion, my mind keeps coming back to that swimming hole. I pray authorities find Summer, or at least what happened to her. I can't wrap my head around how Candace is acting, especially on YouTube. Yeah, she was literally sitting on another creator's channel, literally wearing a tinfoil hat and playing with divining rods. And when people were trying to ask about Summer, I don't know who was blocking them. I'm not saying Candace was, or the creator was. It could have been a mod or something, but people were said they were getting blocked for asking about her daughter. And so why would you go on a channel that's blocking people? Why would you run a channel that's blocking people from doing that? Lynn Morrison says it's true in Mississippi about the child support. And Lady May, welcome. Snow says my opinions are not facts, so please no hate. No, I agree. All of us are just sharing opinions, not facts today. I just want to thank everybody for being with me today. If I missed your comment, I'm sorry. Yeah, Team Rose, I think, and Don said he thought Summer was in a dungeon. And so, yeah, you could be right on that. We're going to leave it there. I will see you next week. Thank you so much for joining me. If you can give this video a thumbs up on your way out, I really appreciate it. I want to thank everybody who participated in the top chat. Thank you so much. I want to thank all of our subscribers. Thank you for your support. And I want to thank our channel members, Rian Evans and Sonia Stanger, for their ongoing support. If you want to support Reporter Room, please consider becoming a channel member or a subscriber, or just watch our videos. Any way that you support us is all greatly appreciated. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye.